There is anger, there is anguish, and there is just disbelief. More than 260 lives lost in air and on ground. Amongst them, a new bride, a doctor's family that were looking for a better future in the United Kingdom, and a former chief minister, a very well-respected former chief minister of Gujarat. The wreckage, it lies scattered, but along with that lie shattered dreams of those on board and those on ground. There were no final goodbyes, just silence and sorrow. Families are left searching for answers, the closure still far, far away. India Today brings you these stories of anguish and pain that continue to haunt those who lost their loved ones.
It was meant to be just another flight, Air India 171 from Ahmedabad to London. 242 souls on board, some chasing dreams, others returning to their loved ones. In mere minutes, that aircraft carrying all of them turned into a fireball, and in it perished hopes, families and futures. What remains are silent homes, half-packed suitcases and families broken beyond repair. Tragedy doesn't knock, it storms in. Arjun Patolia had just performed his wife's last rites. His family now mourns 2 deaths in a week.
એમના પત્ની આજે ઘણા સમયથી બીમાર હતા અને તેમનું નિધન થયું હતું. તેમનું ત્યાં બધું પતાવ્યું અને પછી અહીંયા સાંસ્કૃતિક વિધિ માટે આવેલા હતા. તો અસ્થિ પધરાવવાની આજે વિધિ આવતી હોય આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ પ્રમાણે અને બધું કામ પૂર્ણ કરી અને વિધિ પતાવીને આજે પરત ફરી રહ્યા હતા. બપોરની ફ્લાઇટ હતી જે 1:36ની ફ્લાઇટ હતી એમાં AAIB 171 જેમાં જઈ રહ્યા હતા લંડન ખાતે અને તેમાં જે ફ્લાઇટ ક્રેશની દુર્ઘટના બની છે IGP ગ્રાઉન્ડ ખાતે.
Akash, only 15, worked at a chai stall. The plane crashed onto the street, killing him instantly. His brother is now inconsolable.
मैं, मेरा पापा, मेरी बहन, मेरी मम्मी और मेरा भाई चला गया अभी. मेरा भाई चला गया 5 में से.
दोनों भाई थे.
मेरे भाई चला गया, मेरा भाई चाहिए.
22-year-old Kinal Mistry, just minutes before boarding, had shared a heartfelt message on Instagram. Until next time, miss you all. Today, those very words haunt a grief-stricken father left behind with nothing but memories.
वो इसको ट्रीटमेंट करने का था, इधर तो ट्रीटमेंट करने आई थी 1 महीना के लिए डेंटिस्ट के वहाँ.
डेंटिस्ट के लिए ट्रीटमेंट के लिए
उसका जब जाने वाली थी अगले साल तो उसका कार एक्सीडेंट हो गया था बहुत बड़ा, तो ये पूरा टूट गया था उसका. तो जाइडस में सर्जरी करवाया आनंद में, फिर उधर से अहमदाबाद का ऑर्थोडेंटिस्ट है CTM में, उसके पास उसका ट्रीटमेंट है, पर उसका पूरा बोन ही निकल गया था ऊपर से. तो डॉक्टर ने बोला बोन बनने में 6 से 10 महीना लगेगा. फिर हमने उधर एक्सरे करवाया लंदन में, तो एक्सरे में बोन दिखा है. डॉक्टर बोला कि अब तुम आ सकती हो. फिर इसका 7 से 8 टीथ बोन इम्प्लांट किया 1 महीने में. इतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग थी वो, कोई भी एक साथ नहीं कर सकता इतना बोन. इतनी खुश थी वो ये करने को.
आप ये कल का ही फोटो है?
कल का ही मैं इधर.
Rupalben Patel was heading back to London after a short visit for her treatment. Her husband and 2 children awaiting her homecoming in London. Their wait will now go on for eternity.
लास्ट बार मैं खुद उसको ड्रॉप करने के लिए गया था और उसका मेडिकल कंडीशन था, तो मैंने उसको अपना ये जो पैलेट होता है वो ला के दिया, उसको ट्रॉली ला के दिया और उसमें उसको बैग सब रख के दिया. और आखिर में मैंने उससे हक किया और उसे कहा कि वहाँ पे जाके आराम करना तो रिकवरी जल्दी होगी और कोई चिंता मत करना.
Yasha Kamdar, her baby boy Rudra and mother-in-law Raksha Modha left for London to attend a condolence meet for her father-in-law, who passed away battling cancer. The trio met their own tragic end instead.
लड़की का जो नाम है कामदार जी की यहाँ रहती थी, 2 से 3 साल उनकी शादी को हुए। ईशा उनका नाम था और वो अपने परिवार के साथ में अहमदाबाद से इनका संपूर्ण परिवार लंदन में स्थायी था। और ईशा के जो ससुर थे तो उनको कैंसर डिटेक्ट हुआ, उसका ट्रीटमेंट चालू था और ट्रीटमेंट होने के बाद में उनका जो ट्रीटमेंट शुरू थी उसके बाद में उनका निधन हो गया। तो लंदन में इतने साल रहने के बाद में लंदन के वहाँ के लोगों की इच्छा थी कि ईशा का इनका जो परिवार है ये एक बार लंदन में आए, क्योंकि शोक सभा का आयोजन वहाँ लंदन में किया गया था। इसी के लिए लंदन के लिए रवाना हुए।
In an eerie twist, former Chief Minister Vijay Rupani's lucky number 1206, the date became a symbol of mourning across Gujarat and the nation. His first scooter and car bore that very number. And then it is now etched into public memory for the darkest reason. From Himmatnagar to Balotra, Udaipur to Kurukshetra, this wasn't just a crash. It was a collective heartbreak for the nation, for the families of the 241 flyers and many more on the ground who never came home. Closure will remain a distant hope. We remember them and we mourn them. Bureau Report, India Today.
As investigations begin into this disaster, this crash, the toll remains heartbreakingly high. 241 lives lost in that air crash and at least 20 feared dead, several injured on ground. Many pursuing hope, love, and a bright future. Now only silence lingers. Families are shattered. They have memories, but memories that are suspended in time, and a nation that grieves perhaps amongst the worst aviation tragedies. Listen in to some of the heartbreaking stories that are coming in from those who said, we came to see them off. When they boarded the flight, we were all happy that they would have a bright future. Little did they know, within 1 minute, all would be lost.
"241 dead on the ill-fated Air India flight AI-171. Every seat, an individual full of dreams, of hope and future plans.
Don't lose your patience with your partner.
Now left behind are families in shock and grief. This smiling selfie of Joshi family on board the aircraft was symbolic of a fresh start, chasing a dream until it turned into a heartbreaking final memory. Dr. couple Koni Vyas and Prateek Joshi and their 3 young children. Dr. Prateek, settled in London, was finally taking his family of 5 to the United Kingdom. Looking to relocate till a day ago, the whole family perished in the Air India crash. Rajasthan resident Khushbu Rajpurohit got married in January 2025 and was set to join her husband in London for the first time to begin a happy married life. This was the last recorded video of her entering into the airport, and her father posted this image as the WhatsApp status. Ashirwad Khushbu Beta, going to London. The daughter never reached the intended destination. 2 siblings, 24-year-old Shubh Modi and 22-year-old Shagun Modi from the known family of a marble businessman in Udaipur, were passenger number 98 and 99 on the official list of the ill-fated flight. Payal Khatik was on her first ever flight and the destination was London. For this family from Sabarkantha, Gujarat, the days of struggle had transformed into hope, watching their daughter on an official journey to the foreign land. But the horrific crash snatched their joy forever. A native of Kerala, Ranjita was employed as a nurse in the UK. Preparing to move into a newly constructed home, now Ranjita is survived by her mother and 2 young children. Among the dead were also 53 British nationals. 2 young tourists, spiritual wellness coach Jamie Meek and Fiongal Greenlaw Meek, recorded this Goodbye India video, expressing happiness to return home to the UK.
What's your biggest takeaway, Jamie?
We've done this already.
On a different thing?
Oh, right. What's my biggest takeaway?
Ironically, also in the video was recorded, in the background, the final moments of former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani being escorted to the boarding gate. Passenger number 12, Rupani, was also confirmed dead in the crash. All that remains now is a painful wait at the civil hospital for the family members, as DNA samples are submitted for mortal remains. It will be a long wait for the loved ones. A closure that may never come for the families of 241 passengers in one of the deadliest aviation disasters in India's history. Bureau Report, India Today.
There are tears, there's grief, but there's also anger. Were there maintenance issues with the aircraft? Now, it will take a long time. Remember, this aircraft had 1,25,000 litres of aviation turbine fuel. And since it just took off full, laden with fuel, and it crashed, that fuel got fire. 241 bodies, many cannot be identified. They're charred beyond recognition, and that is why DNA samples will have to be taken. Relatives of those on board AI-171, that Air India flight, they have one hope, that there would be a DNA match that will help them identify their loved ones and perhaps bring some closure. India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground zero. They're speaking to the families. We bring you their pain as they hope there would be justice.
मेरी सिस्टर की बेटी जी, तो मैं बॉम्बे से आई यहाँ से, तो उनको ढूंढ रहे अभी सब लोग
आपको खबर किया गया कि यहाँ पर ऐसे
या हाँ सब हो गया. दिस इज वेरी बैड, बट हाउ डिड दिस हैपन कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है. अगर फ्लाइट ऐसी चलेगी तो नहीं चलेगा.
मतलब दुख भी है आपको? और
दुख भी है और कुछ एग्रेशन भी है मुझे. गुस्सा भी है कि व्हाई दिस, शी वाज ओनली 32. 2 साल का बच्चा है साथ में. उसके
साथ में कितने लोग मैम ट्रैवल
थे? उसकी सास भी थी साथ में.
सास, बहू और बच्चा कितने साल?
2 साल का.
आकाश हैं जो 15 साल के हैं और बताया जा रहा है कि जहां पास में ही एक होटल में जहां पर यह हादसा हुआ, वहां पर एक चाय की टपरी पे वो काम कर रहे थे और उस समय ये प्लेन क्रैश हुआ और उसी समय उनकी मौत हो गई, जबकि इनकी माँ भी वहीं पर थी और वो उस वक्त अभी फिलहाल अस्पताल में हैं, एडमिटेड हैं, आईसीयू में हैं, जैसा यहाँ के लोग बता रहे हैं. दादा, मैं आपसे बात कर सकती हूँ?
बात करवा तो हमारा भाई मारी बात हम बात कर. आप बहन जोड़ो बात काटिए कम हटियो ला शनिवारी कर उबो था.
रहने दीजिए, कोई बात नहीं.
आपका नाम? बात दे तारू नाम तो दे. नाम हुआ कल्पेश भाई है, उसका भाई है बड़ा वाला. आकाश के भाई है बड़ा वाला.
भाई हैं. और परिवार में माँ की तबीयत कैसी, कुछ पता चला क्या?
अभी पता चला, अभी ठीक है. इसके साथ थोड़ा जल गए, हाथ जल गए, गर्दन जल गई है उसकी. बरोबर.
लेकिन सरकार की तरफ से कोई मदद की बात की गई है क्या?
अभी कुछ मिला नहीं, बात नहीं हुई अभी तक. नहीं बात.
आपके परिवार में और कौन कौन है?
मैं, मेरा पापा, मेरी बहन, मेरी मम्मी और मेरा भाई चला गया अभी. मेरा भाई चला गया 5 में से.
दोनों भाई थे.
मेरे भाई चला गया, मेरा भाई चाहिए. मेरे को मेरा भाई चाहिए, मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए.
सरकार से कुछ कहना?
मेरा भाई चाहिए, मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. मेरा भाई चाहिए मेरे को, मेरे भाई की हालत कैसी है मुझे देखना है, मुझे कोई देखने नहीं जाने देते, कोई नहीं जाने देते मेरे भाई से मिलने के लिए।
आप माँ से मिल पाए?
माँ से नहीं मिल पाए, माँ की तबीयत बरोबर, मेरे भाई से नहीं मिला हुआ अभी। मेरे
सांत्वना रखिए, जरूर थोड़ा सा समय में मिल देंगे शायद, सांत्वना
को अभी मिलना है, मेरे को अभी मिलना है।
There are 265 mortal remains at the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. 241 were on board that aircraft. There is one survivor and then those who died on the ground. An effort is being made perhaps to locate other bodies, if at all, in the debris, and that's the apprehension. But among the 241 on board, 230 were passengers, 10 aircrew and 2 pilots. The 2 pilots, one, the captain, had over 8,200 hours of flying experience. The co-pilot had about 1,100 hours of flying experience, another 300 hours, and he would have been the commander of another plane. But then something went horribly wrong in the cockpit of that aircraft. Or perhaps it's from the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder that truth will finally emerge.
मेरा भाई चला गया अभी, मेरा भाई चला गया 5 में से।
मैं मेरी मम्मी के लिए आई हूँ, मेरी मम्मी कल से नहीं मिल रही है, कल से हम लोग मम्मी को ढूंढ रहे हैं, कुछ भी पता नहीं चल रहा है।
Among those dead in the Air India crash were 10 cabin crew members and 2 pilots on duty, almost all from Mumbai. Flight's chief, Captain Sumit Sabharwal, in Powai, leaves behind an 80-year-old father in shock. Captain Sabharwal had promised to call on reaching London. Instead, his last recorded call turned out to be the Mayday distress signal to the air traffic control and then radio silence. Air India 171 was piloted by Captain Sabharwal with 8,200 flying hours as per the aviation regulator DGCA and co-piloted by Clive Kundar with experience of 1,100 hours. Actor Vikrant Masse expressed grief, wrote on Kundar's death, a family friend lost to the horrifying tragedy. 27-year-old crew and travel influencer Roshni Sungare from Dombivali was also on duty on the ill-fated flight. Dreaming big, fulfilling her love for travel and success, till life cut her life short. Deepak Pathak, a resident of Badlapur, was employed with Air India since 11 years. Survived by wife and the parents, family said last conversation was a good morning message and since then the phone was not reachable.
कि जो पिताजी का स्वभाव भी अच्छा है और उससे बहुत ज़्यादा करके वो बच्चा था, वो सबसे मन मेरा जो मिलता है वो सब बच्चे से लेके बड़े सबको रिस्पेक्ट से बात करता था, सबसे अच्छा हंसमुख के रहता था और बहुत मन मेरा छुपा था।
मेरी अभी व्हाट्सएप पे तो डेली चैट रहता ही था, गुड मॉर्निंग गुड आफ्टरनून। 2 महीने पहले मेरी उनसे बात हुई थी और हम लोग को भी थोड़ा क्यूरियोसिटी रहती थी कि पायलट और कैबिन क्रू हम लोग डेली पूछते रहते कैसा है, क्या है, किधर ट्रैवल किया।
Meanwhile, 2 families in Manipur have also been engulfed in shock. The family of 21-year-old Nanthoi Sharma Kongbrel Atpam is in agonizing grief, desperately flipping through photo albums. Kongbrel Atpam Nanthoi Sharma and Singson Lamnun Them were on the flight heading to London's Gatwick. their deaths confirmed by Manipur Chief Minister.
अभी तो सुना कि कोई एक भी नहीं बचा है, लेकिन जैसे भी हो वैसे भी हो, घर का कोई परिवार का कोई दुख तो हो रहा है ना, इसीलिए तो एयर इंडिया से कुछ तो खबर देना चाहिए ना, न इसका उनका कंपनी से न और गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कोई भी अभी तक नहीं दिया है.
We were devastated, but we don't have any confirmation news, so I don't know, we were hoping that she's staying well and alive in some corner around 2023 April, I think. Just only two and a half years. She was very young when she joined.
Each member on duty serving with courage and pride, dreams of a better life and a long career in aviation industry. Now, a trail of grief left behind. Bureau Report, India Today.
Former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani was among the dead. He was on his way to London on board this flight. He was visiting his daughter and also to bring back his wife. He served as the 16th Chief Minister of Gujarat between August 2016 and September 2021. Now, there's something that those who are very close to him, they say that he always considered 1206 as his lucky number. But clearly in the end, it wasn't, because 1206 was everywhere in his life, from the number plate of his first scooter, from his early days to his official car when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat. Now this veteran BJP leader, 1206, for him, it was a lucky number until it wasn't yesterday. 12th of June, 1206, in a very tragic twist of fate, is when he lost his life. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he knew Vijay Rupani well. They'd worked together very closely, even in Gujarat. He met Vijay Rupani's family, and once he met them, he did express his condolences. But right now, I want to bring you the latest developments in the investigation so far. The probe into that horrific Air India crash is picking up pace. The black box of the AI-171 flight has been recovered from the roof of a building at the crash site. Authorities have collected 216 DNA samples. These samples will help identify the victims. The emergency locator transmitter of the aircraft has also been located. The ELT, or the emergency location transmitter, sends out distress signals to help locate the aircraft in case of an emergency, especially if it's lost in mountains or at sea. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the crash site, met the lone survivor of the deadly crash along with others who were injured on ground. The probe into the crash is escalating, it's intensifying. Experts are being called in from the United States of America and from United Kingdom. They're flying in to India. They will assist India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, or the AAIB, to ascertain the cause of the accident. So there was one survivor, Vishwas Kumar, who managed to survive the crash. He was on board. There's another survivor. She was lucky because she couldn't board the aircraft. In fact, this is one case of a life spared not by survival but by sheer chance. Bhumi Chauhan from Bharuch was to be on board this flight headed to London. She was to meet her husband, but she reached the airport late. She was told that the boarding was now complete. She couldn't enter. The aircraft was taxiing out at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. She couldn't board on time. Now that delay, initially when she spoke to India Today, she said it was very frustrating. She thought not only had a lot of money been lost, but she wouldn't be able to meet her husband immediately. But within minutes, when she was driving back home and she realized that that plane had crashed, she said she was numb. She feels it's a new birth, a new life for her. Now, the probe into this horrific Ahmedabad plane crash tragedy is picking up pace. The black box of the Air India AI-171 flight has been located. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, along with the emergency locator transmitter, they will begin their investigations, and the black box will reveal the real cause of the accident. The conversation that was taking place within the cockpit, between the cockpit and the ATC or the air traffic controller, every signal, every signature, every move inside the aircraft is recorded in the black box. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau team is collecting other evidence from the site. The investigation will receive a boost as there are technical teams from Boeing that are flying in, both from the United States, from Seattle, and also from the United Kingdom to assist this probe. Preliminary data indicates that the plane's landing gear, it retracted briefly after takeoff, but then was pushed down once again, likely a reaction to perhaps the unexpected loss of engine thrust. All of this, of course, raises multiple questions, and this is speculation at this stage. Was there a double engine failure? Was that the reason for the disaster, or were there other factors at play? So there are several reasons that are currently under investigation. One, a dual engine failure. It's extremely rare. It's happened. Usually, it's happened, if you recall, when that aircraft landed on the Hudson River. But that was when both the engines collapsed. The plane flew into a flock of birds, and both the engines collapsed. But fortunately, the pilot managed to land on the Hudson River. Incorrect flap setting. Now, it's being speculated by several aviation experts that flap should have been at level 5. It wasn't. Some argue it was retracted. There are others who say it's impossible to know from the only picture that's available whether the flaps were deployed properly or not, or were they set at an incorrect angle. Again, it's a matter of investigation. Did the landing gear not retract effectively? Now, there are some aviation experts and pilots who say the moment the aircraft lifts off at 50 feet, the pilot and the co-pilot, there's always check, recheck, counter-check, and when there's a positive liftoff, then the co-pilot is instructed then to retract the landing gear, and then the aircraft, rises. There's a positive rise after that. In this case, did it not happen effectively? Did that reduce the climb efficiency? Again, a matter of investigation. There are some experts who argue that there was performance miscalculation. Logs are indicating that aircraft used the full runway. That's unusual. It does indicate lack of sufficient thrust or perhaps speed, because usually it lifts off much earlier. Was there overloading or a misjudged weight and fuel ratio? Was that an issue that could have resulted in inadequate speed for lift, inadequate thrust for effective lift? Again, it's a matter for investigation. A potential bird hit, because for both engines of a powerful 787-8 to just lose thrust and power or propulsion, it would indicate complete loss of engine power. That reduces the plane's ability or to remain airborne. Was that a reason? It will again be investigations that may reveal the truth. There are some who say that high temperature and thinner air reduces the lift, during takeoff on extremely hot days. Could that have been a factor? But then do keep in mind the pilots were very experienced. 8,200 hours is what the captain of the flight had. Tremendous experience. Maintenance, was that an issue? That's again for investigators to find out. Let me also bring you this report from a simulator where pilots are trained to understand the challenges they face, because data seems to suggest that 65% of all aviation disasters take place either during takeoff or landing when it comes to commercial aircraft. That's when you have to be doubly sure and very, very careful. What went wrong on board this flight? We attempt to find out.
Told us that double engine failure is rare. Even if it happens and the flight has taken off, there are chances that they'll be able to glide it. We have seen it in a couple of movies. It has happened before. But unfortunately, what happened in Ahmedabad, it seems like many things went wrong. And seems like the pilots, they had no chance.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Basically, the pilots, as a pilot, we are trained to deal with any kind of situation. Single engine being one of them. It's a occurrence which can happen anytime. So pilots are basically trained to handle any kind of situation. But this situation which happened right here is which happened right after takeoff, probably just 200 feet above the ground. And both the engines seems to be dead, totally dead. Fuel starvation or bird strike, any reason can be there. But in this kind of situation, pilots had no choice but to let the aircraft put down straight ahead and pray to God, basically. So one of the things which I noticed in watching all the videos, right after takeoff, they did not put the landing gear up.
Which is the landing gear which you were showing us, where, you know, if it is down, then we don't see the wheels. If it is up, then we see the wheels. Yes. So this is something which, we have seen in a lot of videos also. When they land, we see those wheels coming down, and then we see the wheels going up. So usually they do it.
Absolutely. So normally the procedure right after takeoff is the moment we get a positive rate of climb, we put the landing gear up because we want the aircraft to reduce drag. In this case, the landing gear was not put up. Most probably the reason why they did it was they immediately sensed something is wrong. And they did not retracted the landing gear so that upon crash, the landing gear can take some impact and minimize the damage caused to the aircraft. So we are currently at Ahmedabad runway 23. So we are going to take off and we are going to simulate twin engine failure and kind of, see what actually could have happened. And you will yourself realize there's not a whole lot pilot could have done in this case.
You are saying that the situation that occurred, there was not much that the pilots could have done?
Yes, ma'am. Because although we are trained to handle single engine failures right on takeoff, but both engine failure is something which is extremely, extremely rare. And in this scenario, if the pilots had some height, they would have able to come down and glide and land back at the runway or some other safer airfield. Or if it was a single engine failure, then absolutely it was not a problem. They could have immediately come back and land. They could have flown for some time also. But as we said, in this case, there is nothing left in the hands of the pilots.
Aviation disasters are studied across the world because if it can impact passengers in India, it can have an impact anywhere in the world. And that is why aircraft accidents are studied very, very closely.